Jameis Winston is at the center of some trade conversations right now as the Browns have been taking calls on Winston and Tyler Huntley. So we're going to break down all of the latest trade rumors on NFL roster cutdown day and also look at some of the early cuts the Browns have made so far, including some recent draft picks of theirs. Now, first, make sure to subscribe, though. Whenever news or rumors breaks, we get a video out to you guys as soon as possible. So don't miss a single thing for your favorite team when you are subscribed to the channel. Now, here's what Mary Kay from Cleveland.com is reporting. With Browns second-year quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson being informed Tuesday morning that he's made the Browns' 53-man roster, a league source told Cleveland.com the Browns will field calls for Jameis Winston and Tyler Huntley and could trade one of them. This report came out right after a Brad Stainbrook report, which had Browns quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson being notified he's making the 53-man roster after an impressive training camp in which he had a battle with Tyler Huntley for that QB3 job. So my initial reaction to the idea of Jameis Winston being traded is this would be a massive mistake. Jameis Winston is worth a 5th or a 6th round draft pick this year for just the vibes alone. The pregame speeches, the overall presence and positivity he brings into the locker room. Everyone loves Jameis. No one wants to see Jameis go. The only way I see the Browns trading Jameis Winston is if they are getting a player at a position of need that helps them win in 2024. Because getting a day 3 draft pick like Josh Dobbs going for a 5th last year is not going to help the 2024 Browns. It's going to help in the future, potentially, right? That pick could turn into something, or it could be a miss. Like, the draft's no guarantee. It's a crapshoot, even in rounds 1, 2, and 3. So you can imagine how difficult it is in day 3 of the draft. But the only thing that can make some sense out of trading Jameis Winston is if the Browns have concerns about Jack Conklin or Jed Wills privately. So they want to get an experienced offensive lineman from a team like the Vikings, the Giants, the Chargers. The Giants' offensive line sucks, though. But those are teams that could be searching for a quarterback. That's the only way I can even make some level of sense of trading Jameis away. After a year where you went through 5 different quarterbacks, you'd think that by signing Jameis Winston, they really decided, you know what, we're going to take the backup quarterback job extra serious this offseason and go get a proven backup. I know that DTR had a really nice, impressive preseason. He did last year, and we saw how that turned out for a few of his starts. Now, I will say Dorian Thompson-Robinson really improved as the 2023 season went along. From his first start against the Ravens to his last against the Broncos, I saw a serious improvement in DTR, and we saw some incredible plays from him in the preseason. I mean, one of those touchdown passes he had in the second half against the Seahawks, I mean, he just flicks that ball 40 yards down the field like it's nothing. So I think there's probably a good amount of positivity and optimism surrounding DTR, and maybe they feel like, hey, he could be a QB2 for us, and we can go get a nice asset for Jameis Winston. But I would just think after Andrew Berry himself said last year that the backup quarterback job is probably like priority number 30 on their roster. Like if you're ranking 1 through 53, every single player on your roster, the backup QB should be your 30th best player. Like it should be one of the upper echelon backups on the team, even if they never take a snap, just because the quarterback position is so valuable. And I feel like trading Jameis after last year would just show that you didn't learn your lesson whatsoever, especially when you haven't gotten a full season out of Deshaun Watson. Now, he really was not injury prone at all in his career. He tore his ACL his rookie season. Then he didn't miss a game due to injury after that until he sat out in 2021. So I don't think there's a lot of concern. Plus, the shoulder injury isn't an injury where it could like flare up again. It's not a torn muscle or something. It's a broken bone that's completely healed. So you're ready to roll after that. But I just go back to the pregame speeches. Those are electric. I want those in my life all season long. The lesson you learned after last year with not taking the backup quarterback job as serious as maybe you should have. And the pregame speeches. I'm sorry, I love them. But here's another thing that Mary Kay added in her report. With several teams, including the Vikings and Chargers, looking for quality backup quarterbacks this season. Both Winston and Huntley could draw interest. I've got no real issue with trading away Tyler Huntley. I don't think. I mean, if you can get anything for him, awesome, because it sounds like he's going to be a free agent in 12 hours. I don't think he's going to make this roster unless the Browns. No, he's not making the roster. Like, we don't even need to entertain that idea. Dorian Thompson-Robinson being notified he's going to be on this roster. It means the Browns have their at least two quarterbacks in Watson and DTR. And, I mean, Jameis goes over Huntley. So there's no path for Huntley to this 53-man roster. So if you can get something for him, awesome. If not, he'll be on the waiver wire tomorrow. But I'll turn it over to you guys. I've rambled on long enough. Would you trade Jameis Winston? Honestly, get in the comment section. I want to hear from you. I don't think they should trade Jameis unless you are getting a good player in return. And even then, I'm going to have second guesses and second thoughts about it. Now, of course, you can trade Jameis, and if Watson plays all 17 games, this is an irrelevant conversation we have at the end of August, which ultimately will just be one of those, hey, major overreactions in the preseason, because in the regular season, none of this matters when the starters play. But the moment an injury pops up potentially to Deshaun Watson and they don't have Jameis on the bench, I'm going to have a bitch fit. Now, next up on the show, we're going to have a quick sneak peek at some of the early roster cuts the Browns have made so far. But first, I got to tell everyone watching about our sponsor today, which is Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Something I really enjoy about Game Time is they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, we're going to kind of run through some of the roster cuts that have been made so far. There's some notable names on here. There's some less notable names on there. A couple of notable names, though. Jaelon Darden, Michael Woods, James Proche. Darden and Proche offer a lot of special teams value, so watch for them to make the practice squad. Along with Michael Woods, I wouldn't be shocked if actually, I don't think he'll get claimed, and if he does clear the waiver wire, I expect him to land on the Browns practice squad. Some other cuts, this one probably the most notable of all. Defensive tackle, Siaki Ika. Third-round draft pick just, what's the math, 16, 15 months ago, 2023. We'll talk about him more in a moment. Some other guys, Caleb Johnson, he's kind of been fluttering between the roster and the street for the last couple of weeks. Faion Hicks, a 7th-round pick not too long ago, and we can round it out with some special teams guys. And then right before we started filming, actually, tight end Zaire Mitchell-Payton was informed that he was going to be released. I'm guessing they bring him on the practice squad as well, but it's one of the most cliches of the day. Like, team has released blank, but they are going to try and bring him back on the practice squad. Like, that is the most common thing you're going to see all day. In my roster projection video, I had some misses when it came to who would clear or who would get off the pup and who wouldn't. I did say I don't think the Browns take 3 tight ends on their roster because there's a big drop-off after Njoku and Akins. So watch for the Browns to try and claim a tight end off the waiver wire. But Siaki Ika, I would say, is the most notable name of the bunch just because he was a 3rd-round draft pick in 2023. He doesn't even get a second season with the Browns after being essentially a healthy scratch all 2023 long. He played a little bit at the end when Mo Hurst got injured, but he was just standing in the middle of the defensive line getting pushed around. There was no improvement made from year 1 to year 2. This is no real surprise. The only reason why he was even a topic of conversation was he was a 3rd-round draft pick. So obviously that's going to garnish a little bit more attention. But I thought this year he was getting outplayed by rookie Juwan Biggs in round 7 out of Cincinnati. So Ika could land up on the practice squad. Maybe another team looks at his size and goes, hey, that's a massive human being. Our coaching staff can make him productive and make him a good, adequate run blocker, run stopper. I don't think it's going to happen for him in the NFL. Now, what Browns draft pick did you call? Which player were you like, hey, this guy's going to be awesome, or this guy's going to stink? Let me know in the comment section. There are plenty of misses by the Browns in the draft since 99. So not that this one was a very difficult one to call, but even my young self was like, I don't think Brandon Weeden at that age is a good pick in round 1. Just going to go on a limb here and say that. So let me know which pick you were spot on about. I just want to wrap up the video, though, by giving some love to the Brown and Orange Club members sending a $50 super chat in during our watch parties. Tim Green, Mike Dibble, Jeremy Stallman, Slow But Sure, David Botner, Jared Brandt, James Harper, Papa T, Joseph Deporte, and Mike. Big thank you to you guys for going really above and beyond to support the channel. If you want to get added to the Brown and Orange Club to get shout-outs for the entire 2024 season, hang out with us during our watch parties this year. $50 super chat will get you on screen. Now, let's wrap up the video by picking a card. We will have another video in a few hours when the official roster is released, so stay tuned for that. But, Reed, which card do you want to go with for now?
Let's go with 8 of clubs.
All right, give me the 6 of clubs, too. Now, we had the clubs part right, though. King of clubs. King of clubs. Okay. Enjoy the next, 3-4 hours until the roster comes out, and then we'll see you all again.